So, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Call Up Podcast. Today, I have a very interesting person that I wanted to sit down with. I met him at an event over the weekend, and I said I had to sit down with him and to get to know him a little bit more. He is Nate from Storyline Tees. It is a clothing brand that's based out of New York City, and they do a lot of design, a lot of wrestling designs that I've seen so far, and I fell in love with a lot of his stuff. So I wanted to bring him on today to talk about it a little bit more. Nate, what is going on, my friend?
Chilling, man. Just over here, enjoying the weekend. It's a really nice weekend out here in New York City.
Oh yeah.
Uh, just glad and honored to be here with you, man. Talk about all this stuff happening right now.
Yeah, so I mentioned it in the beginning. You do a lot of wrestling themed t-shirts that I've seen. I've seen it online. You've done stuff like with Brian Pillman, Shawn
Yeah,
Michaels, and even some with Wrestling Tears podcast, which is a really good thing. I know they had an event last weekend, the Jobber Slam, and
yeah,
that's where I met you at. So then, I picked up one of those t-shirts, and I have to say, like, I love the quality of the shirt because I know I've seen a lot of them, online. So when I finally got to see it in person, I was like, first of all, it was a really good, soft tee. It wasn't something that was like hard. You go to like the WWE shop and you get like those really hard
yeah.
t-shirts.
There's
So
like
it's
the
kind of
rough
like,
cotton. Yeah,
yeah, it's rough. So you kind of gotta pull it a little bit, to like adjust it and feel comfortable. But like your tees, are like I could just put it right on and feel comfortable at all, which is great. And like the silk printing on it is great too. Like it's not rough, like
yeah.
the
We use. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Mhm.
we use direct to garment printing
Okay. Oh,
instead of like a
that's
silk
even
screen.
better.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So it blends and it pushes right onto the tee itself. So it kind of
mhm.
feels like it's part of the shirt itself.
Right.
So yeah, and like what you were saying about the feel of the tee, we just wanted to have that feel where you're comfortable just putting it on, regardless of it, if you go to an event or just going somewhere with your boys or your fam or whatever,
Mhm.
and it just looks like it's presentable. I didn't want it to be too gimmicky when we
Right.
come up with when we come up with designs, but some of them go with I guess you could say the storyline of what's going on at the
Mhm.
moment.
So let me ask you, where did storyline tees like originate from? Like, how long have you been doing this?
Well, storyline tees, we're going on a year
Hmm.
in a couple of weeks. August 22nd will be one full year of storyline tees. But me and my boys, we have a podcast called the 20 by 20 podcast, and we were just always talking about merchandising, just everything going on in wrestling in general. So we had an idea. We always had ideas for shirts, and I was like, yo, this is what we have to do. I was like, yo, let's just start making some merch.
Right.
And I was very like instrumental in trying to make it happen. I know like a couple of my boys, they had some setbacks, and family stuff gets in the way, everything gets in the way, and I had the time, so I told them, I was like, yo, listen, I'm gonna see what happens. Like the first shirt, it was just hip hop wrestling mashup
Hmm.
where we had the NWA Straight Outta Compton cover, and what we did is we made it NWO t-shirt. So instead of it saying NWA, it says NWO, and it has like the first six members of the NWO on it to represent the crew. So I put that out there, and I think I printed up about 50. This is
Right.
before like storyline T. So printed up about 50, and it kind of flew. So I was like, all right. I was like, I think we got something here. So just going on ideas. I always told myself I've never seen a Brian Pillman shirt.
Hmm.
And it was our very first like storyline tees t-shirt. So I was like, you know what? I want to do when he pulled out the gun on Austin. I was like, I don't see anything like that. All you ever seen, if like you search Pillman shirts
Hmm.
before, the dark side of the ring and his son getting as big as he is right now, shout out to Brian Pillman Jr. Uh, there was nothing there. All you seen was like, instead of like it's saying Austin 316, it'll say Pillman 730, just like regular generic shit.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're like hit or miss. Sometimes when you look
exactly.
up stuff.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, we need to have something that's unique and new if that fan base is still out there.
Hmm.
So I just wanted like the faces of the segment, Pillman holding the gun, his wife going looking all crazy. And it happened. I was looking through, what was it, Instagram, for artists, and I stumbled upon Dream Match Wrestling. Shout out to Andy from Dream Match, man.
Oh
That's
yeah,
my boy
Andy.
right there. That's family.
He's been on here a couple of times.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
only
He was
guy,
telling me.
he's the only guy I've had on here twice.
Oh yeah, nah,
Yeah,
he's a good
yeah,
man. He's a
he's
good
a
dude,
good
bro.
guy.
Good guy, man. And I just sent him a message. He answered back, I think like a day or two later. And I told him my idea, and he got excited. He's like, yo, I've never seen anything Brian Pillman. He's like, and this segment was so crazy. He's like, yo, I got you. So we forked through some ideas and everything like that. And then we came upon the shirt that we came out with. And that shirt caught a lot of wind. As soon as we just dropped a post on it, people were going nuts just looking at the shirt. And within, I think, like an hour or two, it got the attention of Brian Pillman Jr.
Nice.
So, I was like, oh, and this is when, it's pre-pandemic. This was probably, I would say, February of 2019. And I was just like, yo, this has to happen. Like, yo, we have to make this happen. And everything happened from there. I sent him a couple of shirts. He was supposed to do an MLW show.
Right.
And it didn't happen because of the pandemic. But I still try to keep in contact with him and see what's going on. But it's a little different now. Now him being signed to AEW, it's a little harder because a lot of the people in AEW have those contracts with Pro Wrestling Tees.
Right.
So it's a little harder to maneuver right now.
So take me. I know you touched on a little bit of the process as far as like getting the the designs done. So you work with like Dream Match Wrestling to come up with the designs. He draws it out. Like you come up with the ideas, send it to him. He draws it out, and then you guys you just take the rest of the process is pretty much just you.
Yeah, like if Dream Match is just one of the artists I work with. I have another artist that I work with as well. Very, very talented, Dartillion. He's did a couple for us. Also another artist out here from Queens his name is Chris Gomez. He did a couple of joints for us. I don't know if you've seen the polar bear that we did, but it's dressed up like The Rock, and then we have another one that's dressed up as Orange Cassidy as well. That was done by Chris Gomez. But when I contact these artists, I come with the idea. Oh, this is what I want. This is what I'm envisioning. With Dream Match and Dartillion is a little different because I come with the ideas to them. They get they get excited just like the way I am,
right?
And then they'll add like their little flares here and there, and then they'll show me like previews, and I'm like, all right, I like this. Maybe we could put this over here or move this here, and then we'll just start talking, and then within 2 weeks, I mean, we got something they were both excited for, because I've never pushed any ideas to the side, whether it be like any of the artists that I work with. If they come to me with an idea to enhance what I want, I'm all for it. I'm all for hearing ideas, especially if it's coming from the artist, because I don't want to like play down their creativeness, because a lot of these artists are so fucking creative and so awesome to just converse back and forth with, and it's part of the process. It's part of the process, and I love it.
Yeah, because I remember talking to Anthony, over at Dream Match Wrestling, and just like hearing his ideas as far as like how he comes up with a lot of these dream match things, like matches for him to actually draw out. It's a process, and I love his creative idea, mind when he comes to these things, because it's just like sometimes he'll be up all night, like thinking of ideas and then changing 10 times over, and then you get this, and and I told him, I was like, it's so detailed when he does these things that it's just like I can see like the creative process in it. Other like for like a casual fan, they'll look at it and say, okay, it's a good t-shirt from like Shawn Michaels or the one he did with Kurt Angle, but then for like somebody who's like really appreciative of like the artwork itself, you notice everything. So like with you, when you say like, I want these ideas, and then I bring it to him and he puts it together, like now I can see like where your mind is, like when you come up with these things, like I'll go back to like the Shawn Michaels one you did, it's such a good design, and it takes you back to when he won the title from Brett, and he like, finally won that. He finally like lived his dream, And you did another one too with that I really loved was the Nation of Domination one,
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate
right?
that.
And like looking at that, that took me back to when they first started forming the nation, and they got back, and I was just like, man, and it's crazy because when I started to notice like your T-shirts was when after a lot of these already got printed out and they were made. So
Yeah.
then I would go back and I'd be like, oh, I need to get that shirt, and I look and I'm like, well, where's the shirt? And the shirt is gone, like and I'm just like, all right, so like are they besides Brian Pillman Jr. Are there any other like big names if you worked with in the industry itself that like reached out to you and said like, "Hey man, I love your designs, I love your t-shirts, I want to work with you"?
I'm well with the staying on track with the nation that you just talked about. It actually got the attention of the Godfather.
Okay.
And shout out to Andy again. He just kind of like tagged them in it, and then the Godfather put the fist up in it, and then we went from there talking about it. But it's like it's the same thing with a lot of these wrestlers. Like they'll acknowledge it, they'll ask questions about it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard for us, small business people to actually get them to do something like promote it on
Right.
on that. He always say, hey, if you like the tee, holla at Storyline Tees. He'll
Right.
never say that he's the one selling it or anything like that. Shout out to him, because just him wearing it, whether it's in a smoke session or him just chilling, it catches the eye of a lot of people. And to be honest, that's one of my favorite designs that we did, me and
Mm-hmm.
Dream Match. And besides that, we did a Finn Balor one that was pretty dope as well. But that was one of the first designs that I seen. I was like, yo, this is beautiful. Like, I love it, because I was such a fan of the nation itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, it didn't work. You know what I mean? I didn't sell too many of those. I kind of think it just flew under the radar a bit. But besides that, I mean, I get a lot of like cool reception. I mean, I gave one to Ron Simmons about 2 weeks ago. He was at a Wrestling Universe in, what was that, not Whitestone or Bayside in Queens.
Yeah, that's what
And
that's what Jack.
yeah, exactly. So he seen the shirt and he was in awe of it. He's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And I told him that this is for you. To be honest, I didn't think he was still brolic. A lot of these guys after
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after a while
after
they kind of lose a little of their muscle
yeah,
memory.
they got to lose some of that weight. They can't hold it the way they do, and it's just wild because he's still jacked and he's still in great shape. I was like, damn, I don't even think the 2X is gonna fit this guy. But he said, no, I don't like it too baggy. I like 2X is fine. 2X is fine. I was like, all right, cool. But he was real cool about it, and he told me the same thing too. He's like, yo, I would love to promote this for you, but
Right.
I'm on a Legends contract and I can't screw that up. And I told him, I was like, I totally agree. Don't worry about it. It's all good. He's like, no, but if anybody asks me about the shirt, he's like, I left him a card, and he's like, yeah, I'll let them know. I'll let them know about it. Like, he'll do it like on the low,
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool. Besides that, we caught like a little, I guess, like you could say, a viral moment with our tribal chief shirt that we
Okay.
did
Yeah.
during WrestleMania week, and it just caught the eye of the right person in Paul Heyman. And I thought something was gonna come out of that,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess WWE is like, nah, forget it. They have their own stuff. They already had that shirt that we seen the next Friday on SmackDown where Roman having them stacked up.
Right.
So I guess mine was more like I was saying earlier with the storyline tees. And what we do is we have those shirts that are basically like comic book covers. That's where
Mm-hmm.
the whole name comes from. We have other things that are there, other things that they're a little more, I guess you could say, casual, that you can wear
Right.
like an everyday type thing. But our storylines, like when we do those comic book covers, I wanted to tell a story. I want the art in itself to speak to the person. So with that Roman Reigns one, we showed that he is the chief. Like, he's number one. He's there with his right hand man in Jay, and then he got Paul Heyman speaking for him. But the one thing that people kind of like looked over, but then seen later on, was him stepping on a Brahma bull, a skull of a Brahma bull. That's kind of like, it's foreshadowing. It's what people have been talking about, him versus The Rock, and maybe it happening next year at WrestleMania or the year after. But these are the types of stories that we're trying to tell within our art. Just like with the Brian Pillman, Finn Balor, Shawn Michaels, even the Naito. We did a Naito one where we took like the idea of Winter Soldier. There was this Winter Soldier comic book that I got, and on the side of him is all the people that basically doubted him and just talked shit about him, and they became enemies. So they had the targets on him, and as you see in that cover piece that we did, there's the Los Ingobernables targets, and it's on, you know, people like Okada, Shinsuke, Jay White, anybody that try to like come in Naito's way to be double champ, you know. So it's just like it's a lot of thinking and a lot processing in order to do these covers, because I don't want it just to be just like a regular shirt. Like, I want it to be something that speaks to the person.
So you touched a little bit on, like, you know, maybe dealing with WWE and stuff like that, and we've seen so many other companies, you know, that make wrestling shirts and stuff, wrestling theme shirts, and like a lot of them say the same thing. And I remember talking to Anthony from Dream Match Wrestling, where he had like the cease and desist issue with WWE and also with AEW. Like, have you gotten any of those issues as well, or has like WWE kind of just said like, okay, you're like, we're not gonna deal with you right now, but you're in our radar?
Well, last October, me and Dream Match, we got it the same week actually.
Mm-hmm.
We got a cease and desist. I called him. I was like, yo, I just looked at the tracking, because like on my website I can see who's looking at the website. Like, you know, not who is that person, but I can see where they're coming from.
Right.
And I was getting a lot of traction from Connecticut. So I was like, holy shit. I was like, and it says Stanford. I was like, oh no. I was like, nah, I can't be. I was like, well, what they want to do with me? You know, it's a small business. I'm not taking no money out your pocket. Like, what you want with me?
Yeah.
And I called him and I was like, yo, check the tracks and see if Connecticut is on it. He's like, it is. I'm like, really? He's like, yo, and I got Jacksonville too. I was like, really? I was like, okay. It's like, all right. Within like 15 minutes later of us like hanging up the phone, we both get cease and desist at the same exact time. And I was just like, shit. I was like, all right. And they gave me, I think it was 3 days to just take it off. They did like, just take it off, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. I took off some of the art that I had there. I took it off. And then they were asking me about like other arts that I had there. I was like, yo, it has nothing to do with WWE. There's nothing there. That, you know, it's just, you know. And it's funny because it was a Mr. Perfect, but it didn't have his name anywhere, no likeness. And that was one. Yeah. He just like looked over. He just kept on looking at the Brian Pillman and Shawn Michaels and the Nation of Domination. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, all right, I'll take that off. Don't worry about it. I'll take it off. And fast forward, February, we came out with a Eddie Guerrero shirt. Shout out to Chris Gomez on that one. And within a week, boom,
another one.
But the way they did it this time, they shut my whole site down.
Wow.
Yeah, so the site was shut down. I had to talk to the people at Wix, and they were like, "Yo, just take it off, or if you wanna like, you know, fight it, dispute it, your site's gonna be down for the next 2 to 3 weeks until we, you know, come up with a resolution." I was like, you know what, I'll just take it down. I took it down, and then it kept rolling. But it's just funny because I have stuff there,
right?
But they're not saying anything about it. So I don't know what puts them on the radar. I don't know if there's, because I've heard of fans actually sending emails to these companies like AEW, WWE, and it's like, yo, look at these stores. They're selling merch with your people's names on it or whatever it is.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And it's crazy because like these are the same fans that'll talk shit about these companies. It's like, what are you doing here? Like, what are you getting from it? You're not getting anything. You're not even getting a gift card. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Only thing you're doing, they don't even send you like a thank you note to tell you like, hey, thank you for letting us know about this or whatever. They kind of just look it over and they're like, okay, I'll look at it, and then, you know, they either do whatever they do. You know, I mean, as far as like wrestling fans is concerned, like you get some crazy people out there that like will go above and beyond to mess up somebody else just to think because they're like, quote unquote, helping, their favorite company or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's just like they don't really care about you. To them, you're a customer, you're a number, you know,
exactly.
compared to like a smaller business like you, where you could reach out and say like, hey, I really love your t-shirts, man. I'm supporting it and I'm a rock it, and you can
Yeah.
like retweet it or take their picture and post it on your
Oh, definitely.
Instagram and stuff like
Always.
that, and your Facebooks and everything, and you actually show the love to these people, and I never get that sometimes when people do stuff like that. It just boggles my mind. But
Yeah.
but with everything going on with like WWE and AEW, where they're like, okay, I need you to take this down. Like, do you feel it makes it harder for you to like sell these things? Like, you literally have to like go like underground, or just say like, secretly be like, hey, I'm gonna keep this up for like 24 hours, or DM me if you wanna put this, because I've seen some certain people who make t-shirts where they're literally like, they're running off the Discord now
Yeah.
to be like, okay, like it's invitation only. So like if I get flagged by WWE, it has to be somebody in my private group
Yep.
that like flagged it off.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I bought t-shirts from people where, like, I won't mention their names here, where they'll go and say like, hey, you can wear this shirt. Like, they'll tell me like, hey, you can wear the shirt on your show, but just don't say where you got it from. Like, I went to a show and I was talking to Jeff Jarrett,
Yeah.
and he saw my shirt, and he had a Kane shirt on, and he was like, I've never seen that shirt before. Like, where did you get it? And I literally looked at him and I said, my wife got it for me. I don't know where she got it from, but she surprised me for like Christmas and bought it for me. He was like, wow. I mean, he's like, I really like that shirt. It looks really nice. And it's so bad because you want to big up these artists and say like, I
Yeah.
got it from here. Like, you need to go check it out. They're probably going to work with you and make you a phenomenal shirt,
Exactly.
better than WWE. But it's just the way that it works now.
No, yeah, it's the way it works, but at the same time, I feel that us as creators, whatever company it may be, we just got to go out there and get it, because if we build enough traction to the point where like we're getting a lot of people, not only liking but purchasing what we're doing, it could only go up from there. It could only be positive from there. And I know there's going to be bumps in the road. I mean, I've had 2 already. I know there's going to be bumps in the road, but it's going to come to a time that's like, all right, pro wrestling tees didn't start out having all these connections to all these wrestlers and doing this, down, and third. They had to really make the name for themselves. And that's what I really want to do at the end of the day. Like, I would love to work with a whole bunch of different talent. I'm trying to work with independents right now, trying to see who needs something.
Mm-hmm.
And if I got an idea or a design that might work for that particular person, hey, let's go get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always there grinding, trying to make it happen. And I love the fact that all these indie shows are opening up again. We get to sponsor these shows, especially like Jobber Slam the other week. Shout out to the Jobbeteers.
Mm-hmm.
They had a phenomenal show. And those are really good people. Joe Keane from Battle Club, really good person. And they try to help out the community. This is a community that we should help each other out. And having these indie shows there, it gives me a chance to put my table up and show everybody what I got.
Mm-hmm.
These are probably people that most likely seen it online, but never seen it in person. And like you just said right now, it looked better in person than it did on, through the pictures. So I'm just trying to get myself out there as much as I can. Of course, the internet and just social media and everything helps everything out, but the grind still got to happen. You still got to be on the grind. You can't just be keyboard warrior just trying to make sure that everything is going great through the internet, but after that you got to show yourself outside.
That's true.
People want to see, people want to put the face to the product.
Yep. So what's next for storyline tees?
Well, next now, right now we have our Bobby Lashley shirt, the Almighty shirt, out right now. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have a part 2 to the Tribal Chief, and just trying to make it work. And just a lot of people like what we're doing right now, which I love, and I'm just hoping I could keep up the momentum. because if like they said, if we're getting a Survivor Series in November out here, I'm trying to do a pop-up shop. And if I get a pop-up shop going, I'm trying to see if I could get people in there. Just like, talent in there, indie talents, let them do their signings, let them get their money as well, man. Like I'm out here just trying to help and feed this, this crowd, this indie crowd, because they need it. I mean, a year and a half, being locked up in the crib, not doing anything, not getting that money coming through, stuff like that. Having the pop-ups, having these guys come through, let them do their signings and picture taking, and let them get their money off that way. Man, I wouldn't even charge them for the table.
Right.
I'll let them go in there, let them get their money, and then let's see what we do with it afterwards.
Yeah, and that's great. Just to have that. We need to support each other a lot more. And push each other to grow. So I mean, things like that is definitely great. So if we get Survivor Series here in New York, I'll definitely love to come out, and support.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
I can sit there and do live feeds, on like Twitch and
definitely
Instagram and stuff, and Facebook, and just try and get the word out to like more people in New York to say like, hey, listen, we're like, if you're thinking about coming down today, by all means come down, because it's packed, and look what's going on right now. Come get a shirt, come get something signed, come listen to some music, depending on what you have planned and stuff like that.
Oh, so, definitely gonna be some music there, man. Like this all Storyline Tees is all. It all revolves around, hip hop and wrestling, which is my two loves. You know what I'm saying? So everything that we do, man. I mean, I got a couple other shirts coming out, hip hop influenced. I don't want to really speak too much on it. Just kind of want to just throw it out there, see what people say and how they feel, and, the reaction towards it. But yeah, man, we got a lot of things working. We got a lot of things coming in. It's looking promising. Hopefully everything, stays afloat. These numbers start going down. These COVID numbers are starting to scare the shit out of me again. But
trust me, you ain't the only one.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping that everything stay afloat, man, and we get to rock out.
So for the people who want to see more of your designs, where can they catch you on like social media?
Yeah, man, social media at Storyline Tees on Twitter, at Storyline Tees _ LLC, if I'm not mistaken. On Instagram, you can even follow us through our podcast, our podcasting Instagram page, at 20 by 20 podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, man, we're here.
And when for the 20 by 20 podcast, like for people who haven't listened to it so far, when can they catch that?
You're gonna start catching it every Thursday now. We're coming back this Thursday coming. We went on a little hiatus. We just had to get everything in order. I had a whole lot of stuff going on with Storyline Tees and its own. So now, everybody's ready to rock and roll. So we're getting it going.
Nice. Well, Nate, man, thank you so much for coming out here.
No problem.
Letting us know a little bit more about Storyline Tees. I'll definitely be sitting here rocking a couple more T-shirts out here, throughout the show, and giving you props and stuff like that.
Appreciate that.
This was interesting to know. Just a little bit more of a backstory to, me backing, your company and stuff like that. Like I said, I love to just interact with people and find out more about like why they do this and like their love for it and stuff like that, and if it's just about a money thing or is it just like a passion?
No,
and you can definitely know it's a passion with you. So
straight passion, man.
Oh man, thank you for doing this, man. I'll talk to you. All right.
All right. Take care, my brother. Have a good one.